All right, give thanks, my Lord. Priest Jermaine, my Lord.
Only my Lord. Holy Emmanuel, I. Selassie, I. Glory be unto our Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy One of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, Jah without end. Selassie, I. Jah. Rastafari. Oh, how good and how pleasant it is for us, brothers and sisters, to dwell together with you, one perfect unity, one love. It's like the precious ointment that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, and went down to the skirts of his garments. Like the dew of Hermon, like the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. The Lord God commanded his blessings, even life forevermore, with an eye and eyes.
Rastafari.
But I and I almost I reason with understanding, God, the man say above all things, wisdom, knowledge, we must seek understanding. Let us understand the words that come from I and I mouth of our Almighty. That I and I continue to even uplift I and I hearts, I and I minds, as one goody in Christ. King Emmanuel the Seven, Adonia, God. My Lord and Empress.
My Lord. Thanks, Honorable Priest. So this is African Liberation Network. I am Honorable Prophet Daniel. We're here for another episode, another, session of the International Study Group presented by the Ethiopia Africa Congress. And we have, Honorable Priest Hedley will be coming in hopefully at some point. He, was gonna live stream from the foundation, and once he gets, Zoom meeting and everything set up, then hopefully he will be on. But until such time, we have some brethren in Johannesburg, South Africa, Honorable Priest Zera and Honorable Priest Jah Given. And, we would like if the item could even give us some information about the development that you have there, and, we'll let the world see the work in progress. We can reason, about the possibility of I, moving and repatriating to that part of Africa.
My Lord, give thanks, Prophet Daniel, the host of African Liberation Network. Glorify this moment,
My Lord.
The time is now 4:30 in South Africa PM. And I glorify, the first day of labor going through. Red up, stand up, stand up for niggas, soldiers of Jatro. I and I, last year, Rastafari. Yes, give thanks, my Lord, for the opportunity, to share about our progress, as the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, True Divine Church of Salvation. Yes, give thanks, my Lord. We are here in the foundation, Sakani, Johannesburg, and I glorify, to be standing with the prophets, doing the works, the first day of labor. Yes, my Lord, we've had this land since 2009, and I glorify and give thanks, this is a key place, in terms of demographics, for repatriation, because this is Johannesburg around, the radius of Kempton Park, where you have the O.R. Tambo International Airport. So we've moved really the landing of angels who are ready to come home, to land, at ease, and don't find themselves stretching the continent, traveling miles to find a rest. So we give thanks for this key place, it's a strategic place for repatriation. So as the prophet was saying, Honorable Prophet John, you know, the man who lives around this area, Takani, you know, that we have acquired this land from the local councillors, you know, yes, from the government still, you know, because they recognize Rastafari as one of the 7 faith-based organizations, you know, yeah, so we are recognized, you know, with our rights and, you know, our intellectual property. Hence, we are reconstructing our foundation, you know, Takani, because our building had been a little bit impoverished to the weathering, you know, to the rain, to the, you know, abundance, because we did have a priest before in the land, you know, Honorable Elder Murdoch, who was with us until 2016, you know. Yet we never left the land. We still been holding firm, fighting a good fight for our liberation, you know, which has come through the ordainment of I and myself, you know, Prophet priest given, you know, leading priest given, and honorable priest, leading priest Sarah, honorable priest, selected priest. So yeah, this is to facilitate, you know, the movement of our presence in the land, because we've had priests in the land since 2005, 2004, 2005, you know, who have come with the culture, you know, the fullness of the service, you know, of Melchizedek order. Yet, I was never, you know, crowned. It was really something that was worrisome to many brethren, you know, because we were with the priest and we were doing everything that the priest was requiring in terms of the culture, the service, you know. There were bannermen, there were players of instruments, you know, there were ushers, you know. We were doing the works, yet just never got the crown, you know, until HQ got the word that South Africa really has a problem, you know, with development and officiating of the people, the natives here. So, yes, my Lord and Empress, the Crown Prince, you know, yes, decided to ordain the 3 members, which is ourselves, as we just stated the names. So we are continuing, my Lord, with the works, you know, because no one can stop this redemption in Africa. You know, Africa must be free, you know, whether by earthquake, lightning, or thunder, even by our own hand, you know. So we are here doing the works, you know, sitting in the dust, reviving the works, preparing, you know, for those who want to return home with my Lord. So, and I give thanks for this opportunity, you know, that has come, you know, even to world internationally, you know, our brothers and sisters, 4 winds of creation. Yes, my Lord and Empress, as the Honorable Leading Priest Zara said, we are preparing this tabernacle, you know, for even the 2nd of November to be ready. As you can see, the pillars are standing, you know, the boards are in place, you know, they just have to be reconstructed and put into place, and the roof. And, you know, and I give thanks for the faithful few that has come even to strengthen us in this time. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, Rastafari, my Lord.
So, to any other brethren, you know, present, if you could just, bless the Lord, my Lord, if you could kind of give us information about how ones from the West could even come and give a strength to the work, or whether, you know, whether by physically coming there, or even, you know, if you need resources, if you need money or whatever, is there any way that one from the West can strengthen the work that you have and how so?
True, my Lord. Right now, we have a registered, you know, EABC IC, you know, account, my Lord. In terms of the monetary strength, you know, that ones would wish to contribute, you know, my Lord, to strengthen. Yeah, in terms of the physical strength, Honorable Prophet, as I have said, we do have the quotas, my Lord, at the moment, we do have the quotas that we are using, that could accommodate at least for now that are standing about 10, 15 angels, my Lord, to stay, on the foundation. So we are in the process of, reorganizing, ourselves, in terms of the monetary strength, contribution, from our members, our widows might, which right now is that of which we are using to buy the material, my Lord and Empress.
Yes,
Yes,
so what type of say, all right, if someone wanted to move there, say from the West here, what type of businesses and things could ones look to set up? Like what would be a good way to strengthen one's family, if one was moving there? What could one do to provide for themselves? In your sight, what do you think is like the best kind of things for one that wants to come and try to do there?
True Majesty, right now, what I is collectively agreed amongst ourselves as a business that we are doing collectively is the herb.
Okay.
Right now, my Lord, the herbs, the wine, the sewing, machinery. We do have sewing machines, the medals, and the catering, food.
My Lord, give thanks. The floor is open. It's not really an interview still. I'm just curious, asking questions. But anyone is welcome to speak or ask a question or share, freely, Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
My Lord.
Oh, give thanks. Give thanks for goodwill. Goodwill and sword from Zion to man begin and never cease. We never cease fire till Babylon wall come tumbling down. Call for the God of lightning, earthquake, thunder, for even deliverance out of this barren and desolate land. 7 or 9 miles or 13 miles of high water ship, even 21 miles of high water ship. Take her and I back home to our inheritance, where our neighbor string first cut. We first have to birth somewhere before we born another. Sealer!
Rastafari.
My Lord, thanks, honor. True. It's a wonderful words, my Lord. It's courage. It's true, my Lord. Man say we can't cease fire until the walls of Babylon fall, my Lord. It is time now that the fifth government of our father stand and we bring down the Pope into his knees. Give thanks, oh my Lord. Give thanks for the walls of Jericho is fallen. Man say Babylon is a sinking sand. Egypt, and I must come home. Now it's time for repatriation. One and one must come home. It will be a joyous day. When one coming home, we meet as brothers and sisters. We shall sing a glorious song. What a wonderful day. Selassie.
In time like this, we need a savior. In time like this, we have an anchor. So it's more love. We have to have for each other. Love and our laws and our prophets come on upon this face of this earth amongst ourselves in this time. See you later.
Rastafari.
Blessed.
Blessed love, mighty priest.
So the floor is free again, my Lord. I'm just doing some work in the heavens of heaven, seat up in the holiness of holiness.
Yes, my Lord, my Lord. The land that The prophecy was out by Marcus Garvey. He said, until that day, the banner of red, black, and green float up the hills of South Africa, when the people will be redeemed. So we need that time to happen now. That we must never keep back as South African until the brothers who were stolen come back home. So we are praying now. We need your help too, to give us that status as EABIC, so we can face our current president, Ramaphosa. Because now we are speaking right now in South Africa. The government said we need to give back the land to people. So we are the people that we must get that land. But now they don't want to give individually. They want to give people who are cooperated, who are organized. So once we have the status as EABIC in South Africa, then we have a vast land. We have a land for repatriation. So the brothers can be freely come and conquer here in the land of gold and silver, in Gauteng, Johannesburg, my Lord.
Honorable Majesty.
Honorable.
Yes,
Give thanks for words. Give thanks for them, encouraging words of, so I can reach home, It's
So, blessed Lord,
Blessed Lord.
blessed love, my brothers. That's a great word there. And, that sounds like a very technical reasoning. So, my brother who just spoke, we want to follow through with what you spoke about, right? Okay. To this land, and what we need to do to make sure that we align ourselves, right? So give thanks for that beautiful word. And look forward to following through with you later on after the reasoning.
Honorable Zara.
Blessed love, honorable.
My Lord, have the item ever dialogue with the government there in South Africa?
That is the establishment that we have been ordained in this month of May. We are establishing ourselves, internal affairs, making sure that we have a structure, we have an office, we have a tabernacle that is fully furnished and functioning, so that when we approach the government now, we approach the government on a level of, a status quo that is valid for assessment, and so that they can really take us seriously with the works that we bring forth and the demand that we are making to them, So at the moment, it's really dancing a yard, before we dance abroad. As I've just stated, the challenge that we've had for the past 18 years, since the arrival of the members of EABIC, in 2005. Yet, because, of the inability to reach out to the government, we had to, start communicating with the president, our leading priest, Jesus, Emmanuel Edwards, the man who really gave us the proxy and the power, to really approach these offices and start doing the Father's work, we are looking to start the first appearance, and agitation during the 25th of May, 2022, for the African Liberation Month, where we approach the government or regarding which was established by our father, we bring remembrance to this head of government, who is the original, liberator of the Black people, which is our King of Kings, Haile Selassie. So we start 25 May 2022 to agitate the South African government, at which we are sure that our tabernacle will be standing doors, you know, and a royal tower, and the ark, the royal ark, will be at the gate, and we are sure to be having the royal guard office and the royal office, my lord.
Yes.
It's Mateo. Chris Matthew. The youngest priest in the hill. You inspire Africa, young man. Oh, lot of love, man. You know. Give thanks, mighty angel.
Mighty.
And to be familiar with them.
Yes.
My Lord. Blessed Lord. All right. True Bobo God. Royal priest. Come to South Africa, man. Come to South Africa. Yeah, Father, now.
No.
Must come home, Bobo. True. Rastafari.
Honorable. You true, mighty God. Thanks for life and bread.
Bless Lord, my Lord and my Lord.
Father. You, the host of our Most High, our commander, our creator, maker of heaven and earth. Thanks, mighty generals. Give thanks for health and strength. It is the glory to the wonderful ministers of Zion, ministers of the earth, ministers of the government of the Father within the earth. All the false ministers are out there to rob and rape the world. So we are here now to turn all the table, to make everything clear and right and straight. Give thanks to such a truthful people who came in this time to stand with the Father manfully to bring down the walls of Babylon. What a mighty man we serve. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
My Lord, blessed love, my Lord and my Lord. Give thanks for life and a mighty life giver. For Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Yeah, the floor is open. Honorable Priest Zara, I muted.
Give thanks, Empress Leanne, heart of love, you know, to all loved ones in Trinidad and Tobago. Give thanks even, you know, for the inspiration that the congregation brings internationally, you know, with the videos that are being, you know, posted in this year of our Lord, you know. Give thanks for the honorables to organize and centralize, you know, and come into the virgin ground in Trinidad and prepare themselves for the journey to come home, you know. For man say, come home, ye who are weary, come home. We are here, we are alive, you know. Yes, we are waiting for you, we are preparing for you, you know. We love you with all of the love, you know. yes, we say, Africa is ready to receive its subjects, who were taken away, through brutality, through the atrocities, through the genocide, and we say, those who have survived, we shall astonish the world again, for the whole world is indebted to us for its civilization, So, and I glorify, and give thanks. Holy Markasai.
Last
Rastafari. Mighty God we serve, my Lord and Empress, Prince and Princess of life. Bless the Lord.
Yeah, once God am able to get the tabernacle up, it'll be a good to the community there. You have ones and ones all around there that will come to the service. The question,
my Lord.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yes.
More brethren.
Because one of the brothers yesterday was also able to go to radio station and invite other brothers around, even those who are under Bingi 12 tribe. They were able to hear from that radio station because it was a slot for reggae. So he get the chance there, the brother, to and tell all the members, invite everyone that in this coronation, come one, come all. Mighty God.
My Lord.
My Lord, permit me to ask a question there. Blessed love, my Lord, honorable priest, Zephyr.
Zera, my Lord.
Zera,
Yes, priest Jermaine.
my Lord. Yes, my Lord. Yeah,
Love,
I'm wondering in terms of, repatriation, we know is a bigger thing, so what I would be doing is, migrating to South Africa, if I leave over here, currently, how it is with like in terms of, coming in the country and wanting to reside. Would the government give you a difficult time, being a citizen of the Caribbean or the citizen of the US, if you hold like a US passport or, a passport from someplace else, Jamaica or wherever? Do they permit you or they, to stay in the country, or would they give you time, stuff like that? What's the procedure? What do you have to do in terms of that?
My Lord. Oh, Priest Jermaine, give thanks for the question, my Lord, and the interest, It shows we are one day nearer home than yesterday, one day nearer today than we were yesterday. And I glorify each rolling midnight, nearer home we are come. So and I give thanks, my Lord, for the world, is the same, Bobo, in terms of visa. And South Africa is a part of the Commonwealth, Yes, it's a member of the Commonwealth nation, which is ruled by the Queen, So there are visas in place, like you have your working holiday visa, you have your working visa, you have such visas that allow you to just come for a little while, So in terms of the BRICS countries now, we had works that we were doing in terms of agitating for these BRICS countries, which is Brazil, Chile, particularly in South America, because they have a partnership with South Africa. So if you are coming from those countries, you are able to stay in South Africa for a while because they have sort of like this thing they call BRICS with Brazil, India, China, and South Africa, and Russia as well. So those members from those countries, the citizens from those countries are entitled to stay a little bit longer without much red tape. But in terms of, coming in the country and to answer your question, you do need a visa, my Lord. You can stay for a moment unless, you find a damsel and you know, you marry yourself a queen. My love.
And blessed, my God, and just add honorable, you got to check on the kind of passport you hold, right? The passport you hold and the relationship it has with the South African government determine the kind of visas that are, you know, at your disposal. And Commonwealth countries usually have this where you can all go there and just, you know, get a visa upon arrival. So there's, you know, different ways, but the greatest thing is just to check your passport and the relation, whatever you go to, you know, migration.
Empress Cece?
Blessed, can you hear me?
Yeah, it was breaking up really bad when you were reading.
Yes, there was just a breakup.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better.
It's better, praise you. I was just saying that in terms of getting an understanding of what kind of visas are at your disposal, you have to check what passport you have, right? So if you're an American national, you just got to check what kind of relationship America has with South Africa and what kind of, you know, rights or visas are at disposal for American nationals from the Caribbean country. You do the same thing, and you know the countries vary in their relationships, and different relationships have different perks, if you will. So some visas you can get upon arrival, sometimes with the Commonwealth. You know, so all countries that are part of the Commonwealth, sometimes you can just go there and upon arrival you can get a visa. You know what I mean? And it's easier, you know, if countries are part of the Commonwealth to a certain extent. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's in terms of migration, right? Which is what we're talking about.
Right.
Right.
That is what it is really, you know. And give thanks for that information, Empress CC. Yeah, I possess I have possession of 2 passports, you know, and I'm also a member of I have that passport that is a member of the Commonwealth nation as well.
Okay.
So it gives me a loophole on both ends. So give
Yeah.
thanks for the information, you know.
Flexibility. Give thanks for such flexibility, honorable, you know. Marcus says we have to have a good legal standing in whatever country you know come from or you reside in, you know, so it's important to have your paperwork. And you know that's very important to, you know, the brothers that are thinking in terms of migration. You have to keep your immigration up because you will get deported. Okay. All right. And that's a very real reality. Okay. And I think that's a painful thing to see a Black man being deported from Africa. You understand what I'm saying? But it's a reality that has happened. Okay. So it's very important to just, when you're leaving the West, to have that in mind, and to definitely have in mind economy. You know, earlier the question is what kind of economic things can we get involved in? And the brother said cannabis, Priest Zira said cannabis, and that's wonderful. You know what I mean? Agriculture in general, you know, real estate, investing in one another as Bobo Shanti, you know, and having the brothers at home come together in terms of group economics, you know, and having a viable you know, business, you know, that you know can really compete, and we can feed Africa or supply Africa with something, you know what I mean? So there's great opportunity in the south of Africa, and I give thanks for my honorable brothers on that side, and give thanks for the development in Zeka, and it's beautiful, you know, keep the fire burning and the light shining and the love flowing, you know. It's just beautiful.
Give thanks, Honorable Empress.
Yeah, the more, you know, the more we can understand from this side as to like how feasible is it, you know? Like how would it be hard for me to move there? And like if when I move there, am I gonna have a place to stay? Am I gonna have to rent? Am I like so? Because you know, if I have to move there and I have to rent a house or something like that, that means I I have to have some money coming in immediately, you know, once I get there, which, you know, isn't really an easy thing to really even think about, you know, to move to another country and already have like work and money and all of them things, you know. So how can we make it as easy as possible, you know, for ones and ones to leave what they're used to, you know, which is the West, which is, you know, not the best, but it's what we're used to still, you know, and we have to, you know, really even learn a whole new country and languages and, you know, things like that. So how easy would it be for me to move there and to set myself and start to live my life there, you know?
Yeah, my Lord, you know, there's an angel who did actually come to South Africa, my Lord, you know, from California.
Japan.
My Lord. You know, the man had a best time, you know. He came twice. You know, they say it's always better the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man came twice, so that's how South Africa is, my Lord. You know, yeah, man. You know, in 1960, there was a delegation sent to Ethiopia, you know, for a feasible study, you know, to see whether there's not malaria or famine or how African people are living, you know. Yes, then it was a fact-finding mission, you know. They found that no, Africa is the best place, and ever since elders, you know, they never wanted to return back, and you know, hence Shashamane. So we give thanks, my Lord. Africa is Zion. Africa is 11,000 miles above sea level, you know, where the promises were sent, you know, rainbow circle throne after Noah. And I give thanks, you know, it shall never be wiped away. Holy Marcus eyes. Last year, yeah, Rastafari. Yes, my Lord. No, fret not thyself, my Lord, you know, for as we say, we have come and we expect you not to spend your money in hotels, you know, for we say my home is in Zion, just waiting for I. And when I reach there, how happy I shall be, you know, no rent to pay, for niggas paid it for us. So yes, my Lord, you know, Africa waits her own creators, you know, my Lord, and Africa has already his creators, her creators. And, you know, we are holding forth the banners, you know, we are holding the signal, you know, we are waving the signal, you know, yes, in Zion, you know, waiting for, you know, the royal warriors, blood and fire warriors to return home, my Lord, and fight a good fight and set Ethiopia free, you know, because, you know, we have so much work to do, my Lord and Empress, in terms of, you know, the government, you know, in terms of repatriation, you know, and repatriation will not happen all at once, you know, there has to be the first ones to come and lead the struggle, you know, and redeem the whole of the ones who are, you know, taken away from us in foreign captivity. My Lord and Empress.
My Lord, there's no poverty in Africa, man, you know. That's just the media, you know, promoting that, you know. We've got land, we've got food in abundance, you know. Yeah, man, we plant here. So you have food here, you know, you're gonna get your food straight from your gardens, you see? So yeah, man, there's life here, you know. That's where life began, you know, from the soil of Africa, motherland, you know. So yeah, man, you're gonna get bigger and bigger. So yeah, this is where we at, you know. True, man, be free, you know, come home, man. There's no struggle, you know. Yeah, man, it's just the wicked world that made life hard, you know, the system for the people. But if we are together, truly, surely, you know, we are over all, my Lord, you know, government above all government, you know. I Selassie, Rastafari, my Lord.
Pray the honorable. So just to elaborate is here. Basically, one of the greatest things that the contribution from the brothers in the West is going to be financial strength, okay? Because Africa has resources, the brothers told us we have land. They're doing agriculture. There's a lot of more other things that can be done. But financial investment, tools, equipment, these kind of is there. Okay, Africa, you have brothers there on the land, so we need to build. If we can build a Bobo village, so to say, a camp, and in that way we will have. If you would like to go to Africa, we can have this amongst the community, and you could build your there. But the great thing is to have from the West, because you have the best, right? Capital, equipment, yeah, know how to build relationships, have love. The greatest thing is to be able to actually know how to build relationships, to know how to trust one another. And you understand, learn how to communicate on those levels where we foster that kind of understanding that will build the trust necessary, that we can invest in each other and build economy. Okay, because as you said, the land is there. They have agriculture going, and cannabis, and I'm pretty sure food crops. You said food, so we can build on that industry. How do we develop that agriculture and invest? So I'm pretty sure there's an angel there, ministering angel Javusi, who could put together a nice business plan and idea, of what can be done, and that can be presented in further reasoning, right?
Yes, Honorable.
Yeah, I'm still chopping up. Am I still unclear?
Yeah, you're clear. You're clear.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, but did you hear what I just said, or did I don't have to repeat myself, right?
I heard you. I think.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we just
really,
have.
it's just we're looking to, kind of get an idea as clear as possible as to what it would take from us to get there, and to, be settled ourselves, and live a life, and what's it like who needs to come first, what type of people need to come there first and what work needs to be done. I mean, besides like building the structure, as far as building up the camp, there also needs to, like as the brethren was saying, once they get the camp and the tabernacle set, they have to go and deal with the government too. Because, we can't be going there and having to leave after 3 months or something like that. We need to be able to come and make it our home, So that's going to take more than just building up a camp. Once the camp is established, it's going to take some communication on behalf of brethren there and us here in the West, even corresponding with our governments, together as a coordinated effort, Empress Lily,
We are glad, Honorable Prophet, for the opportunity that has been granted to us, by the Crown Prince, really, because it really shows that the man has the best interest for Africa, and for the Congress, for Dada Congress, because, Dada has all his vision and, aspiration for Africa. So really, when we see that there wasn't progress for such a long time, and the man really brings progress, it sets, a pace for us to start, approaching these offices, like the Department of Home Affairs, the Department of International Relations and Business Cooperation, so that we can speak to these ministers or these MECs, even to the level of speaking to the president, regarding our requests for our subjects who have been taken away into captivity. And what I've noticed about South Africa is not really a difficult government to communicate with. True. In terms of your needs and wants. South Africa is an open government, is a new democracy from 1994. It's still exploring a lot of laws. It's still exploring a lot of avenues in terms of investors who are coming in, because remember, Prophet Daniel, you don't come just as someone from the West, but you come as someone with resources, in terms of intellectualism, in terms of skills, even, to develop Africa where it's lacking. So South Africa is really a government that is open for negotiations. That's why we have to really come up with letters that speak to the government, that are eloquent and articulate in our way, and work together in that regard, even in editing those letters and making sure that they are acceptable, and are of standard of the EABAs, my Lord and bless.
Yes. Because here in South
Apparently,
Africa, my Lord, I remember last time when we were with Prisma Dog, we meet the MEC, Minister of Arts and Culture. He advised us that when we came as an organized structure, then they have that an ability now to give us to give Prisma Dog an asylum that he could stay maybe in South Africa as long as we need, because that asylum will be an asylum that says Prisma Dog is here to teach the same organization or the same government, EAPIC. He is deployed by the government in the West to teach for 10 years here. So that asylum will give him that right now to stay in South Africa for 10 years. So that minister told us that come with that status, that you are organized structure. Then when we are organized structure, then you have now the right that as an organized structure, you have your government from West has sent the teacher. The teacher will be given an asylum to stay in South Africa. So you will come that way, as long as we are still agitating to make a repatriation. But for now, as you come as an immigration, we need to have that. As Given now, Honorable Priest Given said now from May, we will be starting now to engage with government. So we will be engaging with government. Now we are already an organized structure. So then now they will start to give us our rights, our needs will be attended, the needs of land, the needs of repatriation, to enforce on our government, because our current president, he is a chairperson in OAU. He will take the matter now to OAU. Since Ethiopia and other countries, they have made repatriation, they have opened their gates. So too, South Africa too must open the gates. They are waiting for that. Maybe I was a help from that priest.
Yes, my Lord. Powers, my Lord. Give thanks.
Mighty God.
Yes, I. Blessed love, my Lord and my Lord. Thanks.
reasoning really gives clarity, because if we understand how we need to approach the government to make these things happen, then that means that we can, really, outside of the study group, we can reason and work together to help to strengthen even the efforts going to the government and even structuring ourselves so that we're welcome, or we're ready to welcome, or that the island is ready to welcome us, and that we're ready to come to give us strength, in an organized way, not just kind of haphazardly. Yeah, so that when you have like a plan and a strategy, it's better than just, doing it just any old kind of way, because you're gonna come up against problems in the future if you don't plan things out, So I wouldn't say we should plan it here, but it's good to know what it is that we need to think about when we do make a plan.
Pray thee, my Lord.
Honorable, blessed.
Blessed. Give thanks for that word that you gave and just the whole moment of reasoning that the Honorable started with there. now we're talking in terms of international repatriation and how we are supposed to agitate on a government level, right? And it is important to understand the strategy because we're not inventing the wheel. We are continuing in the father work, King Emmanuel work. So to study King Emmanuel's work of international repatriation is very important to see where he reached, how far he reached, who he reached out to, the communications, and those things are a glorious thing to study within the culture, And as you said, the idea now is to understand, what is repatriation, in a legal sense, and to understand how it can be manifested. You understand, and in how to think in those terms, right? And to think in those terms means to who to reach out to, at what point in time, and why do we reach out to them and their relevance, right? And studying the laws and studying what we can do. And so when you study international repatriation, right, it's a legal issue. And you have to take it into international courts, right? And when you study which international court to take it to, and I'm sharing my studies, right? You would take it to the International Criminal Court of Justice based on the agitation of King Emmanuel that he had reached out to the United Nations, and the United Nations had shown him, that at the stage that he's at, he'd have to reach out to another stage. And that stage would be to reach out to the African Union, because it's only African countries that can bring charges in the International Criminal Court of Justice against countries that were involved in the enslavement and the colonization of African people in Africa. So we have to understand how to agitate and the degree upon which we agitate as an association as we continue in the Father's work, and when you look at the letter writing and so forth. So now we were at the stage of reaching out to African leaders for them to understand, to take on the plight of the African in the 6th region of the African Union, because Africans outside of Africa make up the 6th region of the African Union. And they have a right. So you have a right, and one of our desire is to be returned home. And part of the global African desire is financial reparations, for colonization and slavery. So reparations is repatriation, which is to be taken back home. And then you also ask for financial reparation, right? Because reparation means to repair, right? And so we got to understand these terms when we use them, honorables. So give thanks for everything said and everything that has been done, and the work continues, so glorify the work of my brothers in Africa. And I glorify that every African community of Bobo Shanti must agitate within their local governments as well, just as the brothers in South Africa have done, and we continue to push, because that is the plight of the Bobo in Africa. You understand, to reach out to the African Union and to do it in a unison way, because it is one voice, one foundation, and one work. So, we give thanks for one another, and the work continues, right? And we have to know what we're doing. So we have to study. The Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that needed not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, So that's in the book of 2 Timothy 2:17. So you have to study, you understand, to show yourself approved unto God. So we have to study international repatriation. You have to study King Emmanuel work and how far he worked, and read the documents and understand and be one with the work. You understand, family? So give
Yes, sir.
thanks.
This is the international study group, and all these topics that the eye is presenting is things that we can map out a course, to even really get all of those things in this international study group, so we can study together and all be on a certain level of understanding. Because the more of us have the information and utilize it, is the stronger we are. So yeah, honorable, we can work together, to make the most of the study group so that we so that we maximize our time and everybody who watches, and even because this is on YouTube, it's there for all of us to even watch and study in the future, when
Absolutely.
we want to get back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We do want to appeal to the African heads of state, to take upon the work of international repatriation and, put in a court case in the International Criminal Court of Justice against every country that benefited from the colonization of African people and engaged and still has, and for the return of people and to be compensated financially and to return everything that was taken. And that is the first justice, that is the human rights justice that is owed to African people to this very day, that has never been given to us. And every other group has been given their justice, but we are continually being denied and continually being violated. And it is our right to stand and, and we have to be, honored. And, it's time, and we're calling for African leaders to be very clear in that as the imperial colonization of Africa continues in this time, and with the oppression of African people globally, economically, and physically, in all types of forms continues,
Sorry.
Yeah. So
I really are the African leaders, like the different presidents and things like that. They're not really, I understand the word sound that the point that you're making still, but really it's up to us to lead, because they don't really understand really this international repatriation and freedom and redemption like we do, but like we should, at least, as followers and servants of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. We really, as Bobo Shanti, should be leading the charge, and everybody really should be taking notes from us, because it's Christ. He's the crown champion of human rights, So we are the body of Christ, and we also should be, carrying that mantle, carrying that crown. The studying of the repatriation and reparations and all of those things is what we have to use this forum, this platform.
Yes, Honorable. I give thanks for that. And, I'm sorry to interject, but I'm so excited because fundamentally what you're saying here is what Bobo Shanti people need to understand is the father work, because a lot of Bobo feel they're doing the father work, but they're not. If you're not working on international repatriation, specifically this work that we're talking about, you're not fulfilling the father work. And I'm sorry to say that because that is what King Emmanuel performed and did. You understand what I'm saying? So as a Bobo Shanti, you have to be clear what the father will is and what your own will is. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of you got to be very clear on that. And because a lot of ones are not clear on that, we're not doing the father's will. That's why the works are not coming through like that, and ones are not understanding to align themselves, to do that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In terms of that level of the work, because I'm not going to be critical to say that, ones are not fulfilling the ceremonial order. That's also part of the Father's will. But I'm talking about this aspect of the work, So we want to continue that work of international repatriation and to know this is the work of King Emmanuel. And if you're not doing that, then you're not doing the Father's will. Every priest must understand. And I always say, as much as every priest understands the Psalms, you have to understand international repatriation, and you have to be able to articulate it to one within that manner, because this is the balance of the culture. Do you understand? Without us fulfilling this work, then we become like, just a, like a spiritual based organization without that agitation right there. You have to agitate governmentally on this level and also to create economy and to impact the lives of people. You know what I mean?
Yes,
this is the completion of where it's at. And I give thanks for you even saying you're willing to dedicate this program to this very topic and the very clearance and understanding and building of it. It's very important, because a lot of Bobo have programs out there, and I glorify in them, but they're not in line with the Father's will. You understand? They're doing their own will. And, we're here to do that because Jack gave you a free will. You understand what I'm saying? But he said, give me a heart. It's a heart and a mind for a kingdom, Yeah. So he said, give me your mind as well. Let me use your intellect to my will and power. You understand? And to fulfill the work. So you have to also be able to engage your mind in understanding the work of international repatriation and to be able to articulate on it and understand and study it and understand it clearly for what it is, so that we can see if you understand that, then you'll understand the importance of coming together and forming the parliament without issues. Do you understand? You understand the importance of love because you understand the work. Because you have to love and value Black people to fulfill the work of Christ. You understand? Yeah. And if you don't love and value Black people over your own personal wounded feelings and your own personal ego, you're a stumbling block in the way. You're not here for King Emmanuel, you're here for your own self. Okay. And we got to move beyond that. We need angels to really move beyond the personal feelings and the wounded egos and understand that if you say you're a Bobo Shanti, you're here to fulfill the work of, human rights agitation and human rights justice and stand for that and understand what that means.
Yes, Empress, real talk, Empress, real talk. Give thanks, Honorable. Yes,
Blessed love.
Blessed love.
Yeah, it's really for all of I and I really to even fully understand it. It's not like there should be like one or two people who is like the experts on repatriation and reparations and all. We all should be articulate in these things, Every Bobo Shanti should, you know what I mean? It should just, the same way how we know Bible scriptures, we should know how to really reason about reparations and repatriation, freedom and redemption and all of these things, Yeah, that's, we stand governmental, parliamental, churchical, statical, and sabbatical, So we all should, in any one of them fields, we all should be very well versed, at least striving to be that way. It's not like to say you should already know, but that's why we have a study group so that we can all, have a full understanding of any topic relating to Bobo Shanti, Yeah. So, the floor is open, we have the brethren in South Africa, in Johannesburg, present with us, they were reasoning about the development that they have, building a tabernacle, building a campground that would be ready to receive ones and ones. I have a question to the brethren, like who, if in your vision from being on the ground, what type of people would you love to come first? To move there from the West first? What type of skills and things would you like for them to have? My Lord, priest Zara, priest Given. You can unmute.
My Lord.
Honorable.
Yes, my Lord. You see, my Lord, what you just touched on is very important and very paramount. We need people who are well versed with the international laws, Yeah, we need people who are well versed with the agitation, with the lobbying, processes, Yeah, we need people who are well versed with their literature, the comprehension of the law, people who will help us to speak with the government so that the government can really take us seriously regarding our issues and our subject. Because, Rastafari has not been heard. And we need people who can articulate the message of our Father, especially from down south, going up to the continent, So those are the type of people we need. But we no one is exempted, because everyone must come home, especially those who know the order, because the order in itself, Bobo Shanti culture, has the fullness, my Lord, because we know that we are not Christians, but we are revolutionaries, So we need revolutionaries. Those are the type of people that we need, Honorable Prophet. My Lord.
My Lord.
My Lord, blessed love, my Lord.
Blessed. Yeah, right now in South Africa, Sizzla Kolonji sent some elders from the Nyabingi house. They came here in South Africa. They founded, they were 1998, the priest of Nyabingi, Bongo time, he formed the councillor, which is called RNC, Rasta National Councillor. So all the mentions of Rastafari in South Africa, they come together under the name of RNC. So we did represent there. Then we found that our words to them was to say they must come and submit themselves under the foundation, because other mentions of Rastafari are organization. So we left the matter there. Then they continue to government. Then some of other members of them in RNC, they are under the Council of Churches in South Africa. Some they are deployed by government. So today, since there is these elders from the Bingi in Jamaica, they revive that. So when they go to government of South Africa, founded that the government of South Africa acknowledge Bobo Shanti, that without Bobo, there's no Rastafari. So you as RNC, go back and get this mention, so then you can be Rastafari as a whole now. So now we keep them there, that wait until you founded that you must submit under Bobo Shanti, because internationally Rastafari is Bobo Shanti. As the mother talked about the repatriation too, it is that thing that when we get that status now, is when now all this mention of Rastafari will come here. Then we can go to government and say, government, you have said to us that we must come as a whole as Rastafari. Here we are now. Then he attended our needs of repatriation and other needs we need.
Yeah.
So that is why now our needs now is to reach next year, whereby we know that now we will call all the mentions. Now we are formally EABIC in South
It's
Africa.
not your phone there. It's not right. Your phone there. Your phone?
My phone is at
yeah.
Honorable Priest Matthew, Priest Edmonds.
Oh, blessed love, beloved.
And give thanks for coming in, my Lord, and royal family.
Just try again until we get through, you know.
True. Give thanks, my Lord. We was just reasoning about repatriation, you know, the brethren in South Africa. They have, you know, they're establishing a camp there. They have some land. They're building a tabernacle now. They said they're building some, you know, living quarters as well. And we were reasoning about what it is that we need to do to make ourselves ready to come there, and what they need to do to make themselves ready to receive us. Yeah, and how we, you know, need to approach the government, and not just in South Africa, but they're speaking specifically of South Africa. But, you know, of course, it would go to any government on the whole continent still. So, yeah, that's been the conversation so far, you know, repatriation and what it is that we need to do to make it a reality, you know. So, Honorable Priest Headley, I would love to ask the man, you know, from the perspective of someone who knew King Emmanuel, who lived in the foundation with him, what type of things should we be doing to repatriate? Yeah, leave it there, and that's broad. So, you know, speak as much as you know.
Yeah. Give thanks again, my beloved family. You know, give thanks again greatly. You know, I was having a little problem because I am here from Psalm reading, you know, my Lord, trying to get through and thing, and you know. But as we can know, this is a spiritual warfare, you know, and the battle is raging at this time, you know. So we have to be steadfast, beloved, you know. Yes, and the more we can really engraft to clean hands, pure heart, equality for all, you know, then you know we are getting closer to really unify ourselves for the battle that is ahead, you know, at this time. And the time is very, very short. Because we can see all these people raging and they are giving the people an ultimatum, you know, by the end or the 1st of November, you know, most things going mandatory, you know. That means the choice that the Almighty God gave us, you know, they are planning to take it away from us, right? I see a pamphlet came out with you know a thing. I don't know if it is really, you know, because firstly, my Lord, first I should give thanks again, you know, for all brothers, all sisters, you know, in Christ. I should give also thanks for this, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True, Free, Divine Salvation. You know, the Congress that stand, you know, above all organization, stand firstly to redeem, you know, the land, you know, black people in general, you know, fundamental freedom, redemption, international repatriation, to land forward everyone to their own vine and fig tree, you know, after the teaching that we supposed to learn down here. This is why the man bring the tabernacle down here and bring all nations on it to learn of the teaching, you know, of black supremacy in righteousness of salvation, you know, that carry no ism or no schism, like the word sound does, most I. Selassie, yeah.
Rastafari.
Rastafari. So as a little obedient son, you know, yes, you know, I man really have made a decision to come and live, you know, in or stay in the palace, you know, go and come in the palace, you know, because the father did give I a little room there at a long time ago, as my little brother just you know. But as he say, you know, the time, nothing done before the time, so the time is now, you know, because everything that is done right now is out of order, you know. So with his help, you know, and of all my great brothers and sisters who have clean hands and pure heart, who love equality for all, will, you know, stretch out hands to help to rebuild Zion Most High. Selassie. For this is the only little piece of Zion that is left down in LA, you know, Mount Teman Heights, you know. Yeah, you know. The man say where we will sit, you know, and in the last days the house of the Lord, and it has established from, you know, back a wall straight up to on this hill, you know. Yes. Where the man say he will sit, you know, yeah, and redeem, you know, yes, and cleanse us from, you know, all our ways that he didn't put in us or we didn't create it with, you know, and return us to ourselves, you know, as, you know, a righteous people, a righteous, you know, priesthood, a kingdom of priesthood, a kingliness of priesthood most high. That's, yeah, Rastafari, you know, clean and pure heart. So because, you know, everything that the man does, he does it within principle, my beloved brothers and sisters. You know, we would start doing things by principle constitutionally, that we don't violate the constitution. Because right now, beloved, you know, I can see that some of my beloved brothers and sisters are heading for prison. You know, so, you know, we have to be careful because the constitution stand resolute, stand supreme, you know, stand as our father, you know. So anyone, my Lord, anyone that violates, my Lord, will have to answer. Just like how when a man do wrong, he will have to answer unto the Almighty. You know, it's the same thing, beloved, you know. This is why the man left it constitutionally, you know. And if we read the Constitution and get understanding or a full knowledge of the Constitution, we would not try to do anything that is unconstitutional. You know, no one at all. You know, because one supreme.
Honorable
You know,
Priest.
most high. Selassie. Yeah. Rastafari. We all sons, daughters, come down in here in hell, go through bitter things, even more, some more than some. And we are going for, we're supposed to go forward home royal, dignified, my Lord, you know, archangels, saints, apostles, you know, of him, Most High, King Selassie. Yeah. Rastafari. So it's a long time he's waiting on us, my Lord. And the time is now, when we should repent from our evil ways, as the topic should be today, the tongue. Yes, everyone can read James 3, and I have some other psalm that we can read to see how serious, this little tongue really is, and how good it can be if we use it the right way. Most High Selassie, yeah. Rastafari. So, beloved,
Honorable
at
priest.
this moment, I want to try and settle in, get the little place clean up and, because the time kind of run out and I don't know what has been said from morning until this hour, but I give thanks for what is said and done from morning until this hour, and as you know, I don't really know still. Yesterday, I have to give a report still, about the man health still, because yesterday, the man actually fainted in the tabernacle, you see it, because even from Friday evening, I came up and where I see manifest, it's darkness in the courts after 6, even before 6, in the tabernacle where a little lamp was lit still, but darkness is a good thing. I read, walk with a flashlight, that I could even, read help the priest read 2 Psalms. One priest, my Lord, I had to, help him read 2 Psalms, Yeah, so this is what is happening in the courts of our Father, at this time. This is why I ever ask for people, my Lord, people is wealth, the wealth of nation, the wealth of ocean. People, my Lord, our people, the poor, the have not, Most High. That's
Yeah.
Rastafari. So, give thanks again, Royal Angel, and I have said a mouthful, so I will hand over on to the host, my Lord, before I am charged for talking too much. Give thanks.
For priest.
Rastafari. Honorable Empress CC had something that she wanted to say. Empress CC, if you could unmute and say whatever was on your heart.
Honorable Priest Eddie, blessed love, what's going on? You gotta get healthy. We're gonna call you. Honorable Priest.
Oh, so them I hear you, but not hear nothing. Gods and goddess.
You can't hear us? Priest Matthew? Okay.
Wow. Okay. So the elder is going through affliction. Okay, family, take it serious. Okay. Take it serious. Time to care.
Truly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Did you have something else that you wanted to say, Empress?
I just wanted to ask him of the treason that he was speaking of. You know what I'm saying? He said certain angels is going to go to jail, So I was like, violation of the Constitution, treason, So I just wanted him to but that's okay. I'm going to just, that's maybe a personal conversation,
Yes,
yeah, wow. Okay, so we got to just connect with him and make sure he's healthy, get some teas, get all the young priests to care. A lot of care. Okay.
Yes, you love it.
A lot of care.
I think we should work together to establish some type of not necessarily just like a fund, but some type of something to generate funds for the elders.
This is in general. Okay, you cannot have a government with an economy. You understand? A government must have a budget. And, we call ourselves a government and we're not talking in terms of economic power. It's a problem, okay? And we got to fix that problem in this generation, okay? In order for the culture to be able to continue in a balanced way. His Majesty was clear, spiritual and material progress, okay? So we have the spiritual down pack. I always like to say that because, there's a lot of heights in Bobo, right? Great. You can hear a lot of spiritual Bible knowledge. Great. But okay, let's take that and put it in tangible, relatable terms that affect our lives, the lives of our children. And so we have to have an economy as an international association of Black people gathered in different parts, I am pretty sure we can connect the dots economically and create something, you know, a product or something, you know, pull resources. That's what needs to be done, you know, in order for the culture to be balanced. Okay.
Yeah, well, there's an economic summit going on, you know, currently as well. So, I mean, it looks like there's at least an attempt, you know. I don't know, you know, the fullness of the details of the summit, but yeah, ones and ones are trying. So yeah, I was just speaking really more so specifically to the elders. But you know, another part of economics also for I, the Israelites, is to agitate for the reparation which is due to us, because you know, it's like all of our economic power is stripped away from us when we don't have a homeland. You know, when we're out here in the West on some stolen land that we shouldn't even be on anyway, you know. It's like, you know, our economic base is weak. It's not to say that we can't do anything, but I think that the agitation for such reparations should also be a part of our economic plan, you know, because that's the majority of our wealth is for us to be in Africa, you know, and having like how the brethren are able to reason with the government, not like the big South Africa government, but the government, the tribal, or, you know, the natural government of the land, you know. It's like they could get land and establish a camp and things like that. So we can't really so easily do those things in the West without our land base, you know. The landless people is a weak people, no matter where they are in the world. If you don't have a land base, it's like, yeah. And it's one thing to be in a foreign land, but have communication and connection with a government, like say how Chinese people, when they move here, they have their Chinese government that they still have some type of, you know, strength from, you know. But us in the West, the African, you know, governments don't really strengthen us the same way, you know, because they don't really, we you know, through the slave trade and all of those things, we lost that connection and we lost that power. But that's something that we could even reestablish even before we even reach to the land, you know, just to get those governments to understand that we need them and they need us and we need each other. Yeah, and you know, economic. Yeah.
Give thanks again for the morning uprising. Give thanks again for all things that's said and done.
Yes,
Christ, Emmanuel, my Lord, and Empress. Just I love Mama Lily, you know, hold it from still in Zion, you know. I love to the Empress them the same way. I just want to raise a little thing with Priest Eddie, you know. My sympathy goes out to him same way, and the way he feels same way. I hope that I heal him same way. Was a priest, he's supposed to be able to go himself and heal himself same way, you know. And I prophet and I do the same thing same way, you know. So I give thanks again same way, and I hear him mentioning certain things because I was on a reason, another Zoom reason with the Bobo them for time, and the Bobo them let them get in problem with this Zoom reasoning here same way, the priest and them. And you know, some things with them saying, you know, as you know, towards even priest Jesse same way, and the way them look on him, and I really disagree, you know, as with such words going on right now, you know. You know, against the priest, you know. You know, even priest said
words are wind, thou Wiston. Words
you
are
know?
wind, you know.
You
Words
know,
are wind.
Yeah, and I know.
We don't.
Jesus
doesn't care about any words, honorable.
I love all the priests and them, but I love priest just the same as still, and I give them respect just like I give all the priests respect. And priest said lead upon some kind of meditation same way, and I don't see what that is showing within the heavens there, because the Father and the Son have a serious relationship. If you have powers, and you could see these powers, you could see the relationship, you know, and if you don't folly, you won't see this relationship with Jesus and Emmanuel have, you know. So it's showing ones and ones, the kind of elocution and the kind of things with them trying to say a fire and I, because certain opportunity King Emmanuel in there to sign a document to represent the Congress. Priest just have to do it.
Honorable Priest Justice would have loved it if you would just not speak about him or anything that relates to him and his relationship with his father, nor the intellectual property of his father at this moment in time. He doesn't feel that this is a platform for this moment of discussion. And I pray the honorable, so give thanks, and this is not for that. And
give thanks to the Lord, Mama. Give thanks to the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, Mama. I ain't gonna mention the name, you know, but I might feel kind of feelings where I'm feeling same way amongst ones and ones, you know, ones and ones causing. I like to be divided, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we divided terrible and Babylon and walk them way upon I because of the vaccine mandate, you know. We can't live out in a country unless we be vaccinated, and it's not a fight where just I alone can fight, but it's a fight where all of I have to come together and put little differences aside and try to see how we can, because it ain't easy to reach Africa right now, because you have to be vaccinated for right plane, you know. You know, all the Prime Minister them saying the same thing in the small islands, you know. So we have to look for enough things, and this fight is a big fight. You know, we have to come together, you know, and see how we can come together. If we have to have words and quality, you know, to go home in terms of material things, we have to do it, my lord, because the fight becomes harder right now. So that I want to say. Sure.
Yes, my lord. That's why the division kind of mentality is old and stale at this point, you know? Like anyone and ones who like to say things about others to keep people from, say, strengthening, like for instance, the Sunday reasoning, the international house reasoning that they have. I wouldn't speak against it. I wouldn't say don't call in, but I wouldn't say this person and that person you should stay away from. Certain people, that's their method, that's their MO, you know? They like to speak against people to keep the house divided, you know, for whatever it profits them, their own so-called power that they think they have, you know? But yeah, we ain't really here for that. We really here to reason about repatriation, you know, as that's been the topic, you know, of reasoning so far. You know, we have the ones in South Africa that can give us, you know, information from a first-hand, you know, perspective. We also have Honorable Empress Lily May on the line, you know, in Ethiopia and Shashamane. And we would love to hear from the Empress Lily May, if you can block a word sound, you know, to give us some clearance as far as the process of moving to Ethiopia, like what kind of paperwork and documentation and things like that you have to get. You know, we really just want to understand repatriation. How possible is it? How feasible? Is it easy? Is it hard? You know, how do you fit in when you get there? What do you do when you reach? Them type of things, you know, so ones and ones could consider doing it themselves. But, you know, even migration on a small scale, but repatriation as a whole is the topic still. But moving to Africa, coming out of Babylon, that's our, you know, definite aim and objective. Bless the love and care.
The love, honorable Javin. Songs to Ethiopia, Africa Black International Congress, Ethiopia, Africa Black International Congress, Women's Freedom Liberation. But I already found a leader, President God, Emmanuel.
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
You don't know. And who that works and Ethiopia. Well, when you come home to Ethiopia, you can invest in a variety of things, but especially in cash money, you can invest in transportation. And I give thanks and glorify that the immigration system in Ethiopia is similar to the immigration system in Jamaica. Because I spent many years in Jamaica, and you know, you have to really do something, or just you have to want to move that people fire at your foot that you move, you know. The same thing in Ethiopia, you know, they don't really deport unless you do atrocious things. And even if you even, I say Britain go to for 5 years for her, but when he came out, they did deport him. Yeah. So we in Ethiopia, we walk uprightly and do the things and the laws and commandments that King Emmanuel taught us at 10 miles per day. So that keeps us in the shadow of his wings. And we are respected, although we are not united as we should be, because of the same little chicken say I say. I can, but we are going to rise above that, you know. You know, we have to. If we're trying to say freedom, redemption, international repatriation, and to bring our brothers home, to get together, even if 3-2, you reach to the government, the honorable empress say, you know, and dictate, you know, the people say that even if in charge of the region, Sister Jasmine, you know, she's a representative, you know, the next other thing to, because you could representing the sixth region, which is AU, but yet you're working for the European government. I kind of skeptical about that. Then, no, so I wouldn't even run into to say for to represent the Congress, you know. But there's an X-ray too. There's a local. Okay, I won't say that. There's an honorable that is very, very, very into the royal family. His Majesty's granddaughter. But his behavior is really atrocious. I pray to God that he straighten up and, you know, get his mind in order, and you know that he, you know, mend all his differences of us, because trust me, yeah, have differences with a lot of us, you know. That avenue can even be open up. We can go to the royal family, which is my granddaughter. You know, she look at him as a son, you know, goes to our house, you know, and she really take him as a son. So if he gets straight up and get his act together, I rather go to that avenue. So I'm fasting and praying, and you know, I want some reinforcement coming that is neutral, you know, that we can him, and if he could you know, get us to go to the royal family, to the president, which is a woman, and then we could get to Dr. Abbey, you know, and straighten up the mishap that is against the EIC. It's a great work to do, but you know, I'm confident in the victory of good or evil. You know, but it's just that we, as a people, you know, have to learn, like the Empress say, you know, to agitate freedom, redemption, and natural repatriation. That's how we can learn the order, the churchical order, you know, and the statical order, you know. Have to learn the governmental order to agitate, because sometimes people will go to the government and something will go wrong, and they just start burning fire and cuss God and make us look like idiots. You know, delegation, nobody like that. You understand me? When we go to agitation, freedom, redemption, international repatriation, even if people say something that you don't like, you bite your tongue and know, say if you can't do it intellectually, you know, you tell them you'll get back to them on that point. And then we reason collectively, then we answer them. You don't just fly off your head and start talking all kind of things and make the whole delegation look, you know. So we have to come together and reason, you know. And also when we go on delegation, You know, our power excellence because delegation ain't gonna be smooth. You understand me? You have questions, ask us that we can't even answer individually. No, you have to get back to them on that, or even write them a letter on that or something.
Yeah.
We can do it. I will say we shall do it. You know, it might look like it's impossible, you know, and with this COVID thing, and, oh goodness. Well, in Shashamane, you really have to wear no mask and you go into business places. But a lot of people are not wearing no mask right here, like how when the COVID first came up, you know. And the food situation in Ethiopia is food is here and everything, but prices are going up, you know. And it's best that we plant our own food, yes. That is good. But the animals again, the monkeys, the porcupine, mm, everything you plant, they dig up and eat, and you have to have the fence and round and net and round. That costs a lot. We have to do it because if we want to feed ourselves, you know. But a lot of people talk about farming, you know. Just say that he, you know, will keep us alive and farm. Just we have to be wise and plant our food and secure it from the animals, you know. But the investment here now is like in transportation. You have motorbikes you could rent and you could buy and make people ride, run them for you. Then you have to buy that um, the little what you call them tuk tuk transportation. You know, they you buy them, they will run them for you, bring your income. Farm, like you say, farm and food. You know, but food is very expensive to cultivate. So. But there's hope, man. There's hope. So just let us agitate to bring all our brothers and to the rest. And you know, with and faith and whole Africa, you know, from South Africa to West Africa to North Africa, though a lot of wars that they're part, you know, just clear and bring us home from the West and one by one, our freedom, redemption, international history. So we shall come home. I am confident and I wait to see my sisters and brothers. Ask that to keep me alive, you know, and keep me well and in principles and, you know, me to love my one and brothers and sisters following the earth. Until they mash my toe and help me to forgive that I must be forgiven. Not just pure goodness. Give thanks for the Carnegie celebration coming up, you know. Give thanks and glorify. So I pray that I shed some light on your situation. If there's any question, I am free to answer. And out of love, each and every one, my Lord.
I will give thanks, Honorable Majesty. Is the eye near Honorable Priest Paul?
No, Priest Paul is in one again, the hot springs.
That's how far?
That's a couple miles away. It's an next city.
Okay, so you would have to drive.
Hmm?
You would have to take a ride there. You couldn't walk.
Yes, oh, you definitely. And the ride is so beautiful. The hills, I mean, it's so conjure, man. When I go there, I just go there to just to look to the hills, you know. Yeah, it's Awassa. Awassa is His Majesty's capital city. That's where he was governor. That was his headquarters in Sidamona. And you ever see Awassa? Awassa is like the west in some parts, the city part, you know. I went there Thursday where the Empress's Earth was on. And trust me, it's beautiful. And it's these little cities all that. And Wonder Gannett now is where the hot springs, His Majesty have a palace there. And Wonder Gannett, he used to stay, you by the hot spring.
Mhm.
That is where Priest Paul lived. He moved from Sashamani and he went there, but his Priest Shadrach still in Sashamani with Priest
So
Paul.
Wanda Gennett is still in Romo territory, kind of.
All of the south is Aroma mostly.
Okay, and so the reason pardon.
Awasta federal, but they are in the Aroma territory.
The reason I ask is because Honorable Priest Paul had expressed to me that he has been made like an honorary member of their society, you know, like he's so that means that he could be like a bridge for us who desire to come there and own land. You know, he could probably have an impact in the decision that they would have to make. You know, the people who own the land, the Oromo people, to give the land for somebody coming from the west, a Bobo Shanti coming from the west. So you know, he's a resource. Both of the items is resources. You know, you have you know, you're established there. So I'm just saying that for ones and ones that's watching, that's, you know, here listening to, that we have Bobo Shanti in Ethiopia that have access to the government, the Oromo people. And as the Empress said, we could even organize ourselves to, you know, communicate with the royal family, which could be a window into the formal government of the country, you know, so that we can agitate for I and I to be able to get proper citizenship and things like that. But Empress Lily, you said they don't deport you unless, so like if I just had a regular American passport and moved there, as long as I don't cause no big trouble, I wouldn't probably get deported from the country?
Not at all, my lord.
Okay.
And you
Well,
can
that's good.
also get a Kabbalah ID that is valid in the back.
Same way as South Africa, Empress Lily. Same way. That's why you have Priest Murdoch and Priest Adva and Priest David, Priest Moja, Prophet Everett, who have been here since, you know, the early 2000s, like 2004, 2005. And, you know, like the Empress is just elaborating. Africa is not harsh on its people, you know. As long as you are not notorious for crime, you don't cause any trouble, clearly the government will leave you alone. I mean, you have seen how people like Priest Bonnick have been in Ghana for years until the gateway has been opened. My Lord and Empress.
All right. Sorry. So now when it comes to like doing business and say like establishing like a bank account and things like that, if I wasn't a citizen properly, would I still be able to function in those arenas?
Easily and easily.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because like America, you know, they're super strict on that type of stuff. You have to have social security number, which means you have to have a certain type of paperwork and all of that stuff. So if you're not like a official citizen or resident, it's really hard for you to do certain basic things that, you know, so-called American people can do. Yeah, so that's good.
My advice, as you come in with your valid passport, you must get a bank account.
Okay.
So when your passport expires, you make sure have your Kabbalah ID, which will replace your passport. And that is valid all over Ethiopia, because I went to Addis Ababa and I did transaction with, I went to Para province and I did transaction with my Kabbalah ID, you know.
Okay. But is there land there where in Ethiopia where, say, somebody who was wanting to come from the West could come there and live without having to necessarily buy the land, you know?
No, my lord.
Yeah, you have to buy it for sure.
Yes, my lord.
Is it expensive? You know, like yeah, like how much burr are we talking, and how that converts to American dollars for even a small piece of.
Well, because every week the bird every
Okay.
couple weeks up. But I can tell you about in dollars
Okay, sure.
because when I came here, land was reasonable. Land was very reasonable, you know, because you could get a little square from six, 7,000. Now that same square is going for like 11, 12.
US?
Yep.
Wow.
But guess
For how
what?
much?
They don't sell land, you know. They don't sell land, you know. They
Okay.
sell because they don't sell empty land. They sell house. Anyone
Okay.
who buys a piece of land have to put a bet on it, which is a house, you know, in order
So
to
you,
sell it.
so you could buy a house for $6,000-7,000.
Yes, because you can't buy empty land. I bought a piece of empty land because of just I built a stone house, concrete house, you know, with steel and block and things. My house is high off the ground. But next to me now there was a chickabet, which is made out of mud and grass, and you know, they only last like 25 years, and my little concrete would last like 40 or so years.
Well, 25 years is still a long time still.
Yes,
I mean,
but then it looked dilapidated and start
okay.
dropping and thing. You ain't want that.
So like a house now for like less than $10,000, it would have plumbing and like flush toilet and electricity and all of that.
Well, if you have to put in those amenities, you have to put in those amenities.
Okay.
The house, get the house, sick house, and the land. Because they only make the house to keep the land because you don't sell empty land in Ethiopia.
Okay.
All land the government. So you ain't own nothing.
Okay. Huh. So if you had a house and you say you know drop your flesh, you had children, your children will be able to inherit that house.
Oh yes. Oh yes. From you put in your light and your water and you have your bills coming in your name, it's your own.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's key information because that's very different than how things function here. I mean, in America specifically, it's very different. First of all, you can barely buy a piece of land for that much money, much less a house. A house is going to cost $100,000 or something crazy like that. And that's not even a big house, you know, and you can buy land by itself and you'd have to pay to develop the land and all of that. So yeah, it's good to know how it functions in different societies so we could know what to expect. So would you, in order, say, and this is for, you know, I'm asking the brethren in South Africa at the same time, you know, and you can feel free to just take turns answering. But like, if I wanted to buy some land and a house, do I need to talk to, who do you find, a real estate agent, or is it like, how the brethren was explaining, they went to like the local government, what do you call it, local government or the tribal government, whatever. Do you have to go to them? Do you have to go to like a bigger government? How, you know, who do you need to talk to for coming to land there?
I just want to say something. I just asked a question before the brethren even speak. Like how I manage a bill and I man have documents and things proving that I have license to build international. You know, like I want to go into real estate. How I stand within this country coming in to renovate house and fix over house and sell over house. How I stand within them countries coming in my life.
Who's that? I don't want all on the laptop now.
Empress. Yeah, give thanks, Empress.
Pardon my lord, pardon my lord.
Yes, sir.
Honorable priest, you have to go through the Kabbalah. You'll have to go to the Kabbalah if you want to do on a big scale, but the Rastafari community will need a repairman.
Yeah, well, I man have license. I man is a license builder. Plus, I man have King Emmanuel Youth Foundation.
to find work amongst the Rastafari people. Other words, the Rastafari people. But if you want to build scale, like how you have your license and everything, you have to do that.
Blessed love, Honorable Prophet Daniel.
Yes, Majesty. Oh.
In South Africa, then it would depend on the demographics, you know. Like I'm from the rural community, where the land you go to a chief to or headman to acquire a land, it's not so much, you know, my lord. You will come there, for an example, as a relative, because there is people from Ghana who bought land, you know, from my community, not at a high price, you know, my lord, at about 10, 15,000 rand in a dollar.
So a dollar is what, 17 rands.
Then you convert that at 17 rand. But it's not much that you would spend. It's not far different from what I would spend to the community to get the land. That's what I'm trying to say. Not because you're coming from
my lord. Prezera.
You know, my lord. So it depends on the demographics. So then on the city or the township, urban, then that's a different situation.
Real estate.
You know, then you would speak of your municipality,
real estate.
You know, your real estate.
What's the best way? What's the best way for someone to Bobo Shanti to come?
Hey, the best way
part of your community
is join the Bobo Shanti community. Is mostly the rural. You know, your headman, your chief, your royal leaders. You know, my lord, and the political leaders.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best way.
And so somebody like the item would have to be like a mediator between the two, right? Like I couldn't just call them up and talk to them. Could I?
As an official right now, my lord, I would have to mediate, you know.
Yeah, that's what
on the honorable's behalf.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. So, but it was kind of chopping up a little bit when you was explaining how much it might cost. Like, say, even for like a small piece, just like anyone could build a house that they could just start with, you know, and maybe build onto, with just a little space for them to plant a garden. You know, how much is one looking at, even in your area specifically? I can't hear the eye. Maybe it's muted.
My lord.
Honorable.
Well, the dollar right now, you know, the dollar is about 17 rands at the moment. I just, because of the meeting, I'm not able to go to the converter. But, you know, a rand goes into a dollar about 17 times.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand my point, you know? So that means a dollar is a really high commodity when you come to South Africa. It means you can just spend your dollars like, you know, you know, yeah, they have a lot of value, so to speak.
Yes.
What I can say, like something like $50 would be about how much? $50 would be about 4,000. Yeah, would be about 4,000 rand.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
Dollars, you know. So you can imagine just how much,
yeah, that's right.
how much you can purchase with $100. Imagine $100 that you're buying a property in America. Like, how much more land you can purchase in South Africa? That's a lot. If a dollar goes, if a rand goes into $1 17 times, yes, yes, my lord. So you can just do
like
the math.
how much rand then would it be for like a small piece of land to build a house in and have a little small garden for a personal,
Well, let's convert 15,000, right? 15,000 rands. Yeah, 15,000 rands. If we do the math in terms of the dollar, which is equivalent to,
That's less
17
than less than 1,000 US.
Exactly. Do you see how it is?
Yes,
Yeah, that's the reality. Yeah, that's the
Maybe
reality.
if we
Just go to the converter and convert USD to ZAR, and you will just see how ridiculously low the price is. Yes, my lord. Blessed.
So if I per se was wanting to buy a piece of land there and build a house, 1,000 US would be enough for me to get a piece of land. That's what you're telling me.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And depending on the demographics, as the Honorable Priest Zera said, like there's a place like Sandton, that's an upper marketplace. I'm sure you've heard of Sandton in Johannesburg, where even Empress Esther and Empress Miriam Blake and Empress June have visited, in the past. That's like an upper marketplace that's worth, that would cost you about 5,000 US to 6,000 US to just get, a place like that. But going into a place where real people are living now, like the township areas, the rural areas where Bobo Shanti would like to make its impact known, as a man 10 miles away from the bloody city, you find the holy man. So just to build a place in a place that is situated within streams, rivers, a place where we can plant, and do our works, not just, we are not interested in urban places. We are really interested in, rural places where we can do agriculture and produce, and work on the land, So we have an opportunity, to get more land in different places, because remember, Jamaica comes into South Africa more than 1,000 times in terms of size and capacity. So South Africa is really vast and broad. It's a very big space that needs to be conquered and covered, So we have an opportunity to go to Eastern Cape for example, and speak to the chieftaincy there, who can really give us the land for ridiculously low price. But as long as we are going to develop his, a part of the community and assist in showing the leadership as Rastafari, that the hungry may be fed, the naked clothed, the sick nourished, and the aged protected. That's what the chieftaincies in Africa need. They need communities who come and strengthen their people, because people are impoverished, especially in those in those type of places. They need development. They need people who have studied a different culture, who bring, development in terms of the future and modernization, my lord.
Honorable. Well, give thanks for the clearance. I mean, that makes it a lot more understandable even still, because I mean, like here, it's at least 1,000. I mean, most places to rent is like $1,000 at least every month we have to pay, just to even have a shelter. So that same $1,000 could buy me a piece of land, and next 1,000 could build a house.
Come home, honorable.
You say?
I'm saying come home. The monthly rent can really afford the honorable a piece of land. I mean, your yearly rent can afford you home,
a mansion.
A mansion.
True. Yes, my Lord.
Yeah,
So that's
we just have to break these barriers, you know. We just have to break these barriers of residential staying, you know. Break the barriers of having ones who desire to come stay and not visit, you know, and make sure that our governments understand that we are all one blood brothers and
yes, my Lord.
through authorities, you know, and the inhumanity of slavery, you know, and yes, I think that's where we need to go to, you know, to fix ourselves so that everyone can just come in comfortably, whether they are rich or poor, you know. Yeah, that is really the goal and the mission of my Lord.
All right, we'll give thanks, my Lord. Yes, the floor is open, you know. Everyone feel free to share, feel free to ask questions, feel free to whatever, anything you want to do, you know. The floor is open. But
Blessing
yeah,
of my Lord and Empress, blessing of honorables.
Empress, bless and love.
Yes, Majesty, give thanks for life and the mighty life giver, Holy Emmanuel I Selassie Jah.
Rastafari. Sorry, royal family. It's really, I mean, you know, when we understand it like that, how little we really need to financially to make a move like that is really, I mean, it's like we don't have no excuse. We should, you know, but more times we don't have the information. You know, they say, my people die for lack of knowledge. You know, that's why we're here to get the knowledge so that we could even set ourselves. I mean, you know, $1,000, we could save that in a year. You know, not to say easily, it might not be easy for everybody, but I'm pretty sure together, at least definitely we could put together $1,000 in a short amount of time and be moving ourselves away from, you know, this desolate and barren land, you know, and coming into even a community, not just, you know, because a lot of our apprehension or fear around moving to the continent is just not knowing, you know, what to expect and maybe feeling like we don't fit in or whatever. But as Bobo Shanti, you know, we have Bobo Shanti on the continent that could welcome us, you know, so you know, you wouldn't have to go there and feel lonely, you know, which I mean, we shouldn't feel that way anyway, moving to Zion, you know, but the reality is that we can move into a community and already have, you know, certain things in place and not have to spend a whole lot of money even to make the transition. Yeah, and it's really reasonable and realistic. Love it, go through. Okay, Priest Zara, you're muted.
Yeah. Yes, my Lord, the Honorable Prophet Daniel. It's just the fear of unknown, my Lord, you know? Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's what I can say, you know. We shall know each other better, really, when the mist have rolled away. Yeah, my Lord, face to face with those that love I and I, you know? We shall know as we are known. I and I, Selassie, Rastafari. Never more to walk alone, my Lord and Empress. We are here for each other, you know. We are one another's keepers, you know. We are one another's brothers and sisters. My Lord and Empress. Prince and Princess of Zion.
Yeah, it's really, they must come home, the brothers, because here in Azania, we were fought for seeing black man free. We talk about black power. So today, South Africa accommodates the whole Africa. The whole Africa is here in South Africa. That is why we said South Africa is a gate, whereby when we want repatriation, when we want unity of Africans, we can start here at South Africa, where everything, because everyone come in South Africa because economy, peace, I can count many things that bring the Africans here in South Africa, and the gates are opened. The border gates are open. You pass free to the soldiers who come here in South Africa. So before the world close the gates, let I come home and break all these walls. So Bobo Nation, the whole African people, they may know that we Bobo Nation, we are First Nation before Zulu, before Shona, before Ethiopia, but they were Bobo Nation. We remind them what Dada taught us. So we want you to come home, that we can clear the course in Africa, because even when Imperialist Selassie come, the African were lost, were colonized, but a Rastaman set them free. So every minister, every president know that Rastaman is a first nation, is a first man, and is a liberator. They cannot do in the struggle without we. They must include we. That is why whenever they do things, they don't go right. Until we, as the rightful heir of the world, as the creators of the world, we must come together. So the world will come together. So we welcome you, brothers in Zion. Let's come and break. As long as our government still confused, still want even to build itself, they are open for us. They are open, my brethren. Let's come and save Africa, my Lord.
Yes, Majesty. Thank you. Freedom, ones and ones, feel free to speak up,
Bless the Lord, my Lord.
Bless the Lord, my Lord.
Bless the Lord, my Lord and Empress, honorables. Yes, I just following the reasoning and was just wanting to briefly relate my experience buying land in Guinea. But I was really amazed to hear the prices that the Honorable Prophet was relating to us, because wow, 1,000, that's really like cheap. When I compare it to what I pay like in Guinea, I pay about 6,000, a little over 6,000 for like about an acre and a half, right? And even now it's much more. I bought that back in 2013. So that's really been my meditation, is developing the land. I have a house there now, but I haven't been back in a few years. But yeah, there's no other Bobo in Guinea that I know of. So just to make it known, and I will let ones know once my plans become more concrete, but just to make it known that there will be a presence of the Congress in Guinea at some point, my Lord and Empress.
Give thanks, my Lord. Yes, I.
Bye.
From Cape to Cairo, and from Senegal to Somalia,
We're taking it all, my Lord.
Honorable. Yeah, freedom, ones and ones, please speak. I've already said a lot, but if we come to a place where nobody, hasn't much more to share, then we would just seal it up. We ask that a priest would say a prayer and then close it up for us.
My Lord, I want to give thanks, my Lord, for this moment, man.
Honorable.
And your wonderful words of life, my Lord, from the honorables, my Lord. I love to hear them, honorable priests and empress, come, Ethiopians come, because Rastafari really open wide that door for one and all to build back Africa same way. So I see that it is really important, the vision that honorable priest was given as well, about that there must be projects, there must be unity around building projects that can really let the governments and the leaders of Africa know that Bobo Shanti people is willing to go there and strengthen the government. And that really Western governments are keeping us captive here, but our goal, our mission is really build Africa and go and help the needy. So I feel that as long as we come with that vision that we want to build Africa, and we want to strengthen the needy, we want to go and humble, and feed the humble, and let the naked be clothed and sick nourished. It is all we have to do, same way, man. Come with clean hand and pure heart to, yeah, man. So I give thanks, my Lord, for such a vision. I feel we can really coordinate building projects, my Lord, within those statutes, my Lord, within that vision. Like internationally, we could be doing that at the moment, my Lord, and we could use this my Lord, these moments that we have to really study how to do it. And yeah, man, I give thanks because I know that greater things are coming, man, out of these, my Lord.
My Lord, yes,
So,
sir. Yeah, this study is really
True,
just
honorable.
an understanding, you know, but from the understanding, we're supposed to manifest some type of work, you know, to show that we actually understand something, you know. So,
my Lord.
Yeah, aside from this program, we eventually, you know, once we get a better understanding of what it is that we need to do and how we talk about how we need to do it, then we, you know, we do something, you know, we put it into action. All of the planning and the understanding, we put it into action. And, you know, we don't want to jump and just start doing, you know, without proper planning still, because then we, you know, haste make waste, you know, and sometimes we go too fast and we're not ready. But in time, you know, and even, yeah, this Congress, we have certain infrastructure that needs to be in place for us to do certain things properly and coordinated, you know. So yeah, in time, but you know, the reasoning is the first thing still. So I give thanks for everyone who did come and share information for us all, you know, to broaden our horizons and lift our heavens, you know, so we can understand better what it is that we really need to do, what we can do, and what we need to do to make it happen still. Yeah.
Yeah, man, communication is the key, my Lord, because plenty of things are going on in different places, and plenty of things could happen, could be happening at the moment, my Lord. But because of communication not happening, my Lord, we don't really have the knowledge of how things are. But yes. I really love this moment, my Lord, to hear such a realistic vision, my Lord, from honorables in Africa, my Lord. Because yeah, man, it is not to move it to a migration scheme, my Lord, but it is really the way to start building back our home.
My Lord.
Once the whole house is furnished and the whole house is ready, you see the water, the free water way will come, and that will be the next step. But it takes once and once, and we can hear them say, the honorable brethren say, they need more strength. So yeah, man, it is really necessary that ones that are willing to go and strengthen from even other places to know the way to do it, my Lord. And give thanks for communicating that brethren are willing there to take the strength, my Lord, because it is blessed, man.
Honorable.
My Lord. Give thanks, my Lord, you know, Honorable Prophet Joseph Majesty, God, even to all angels in Colombia, my Lord, you know, for man say, you know, yes, my Lord, Africa has to be free, you know, through, you know, all moving powers, you know, of, you know, blood and reality, my Lord. So give thanks for those who are standing this time, my Lord, agitating even from the shores of South America, you know, for Africa. Yes, my Lord, because we did work with honorables in Chile, you know, Honorable Priest Igo, you know, we did have some communication with him in the past, you know, Honorable Priest Geraldo, you know. Yeah, we did communicate with them, you know, because also, remember, they were working, you know, with the government of Chile, you know, to agitate for EABIC. You know, and from that time, I, you know, had just had a good communication with them, although, you know, the communication can take a slide, you know, but it can still be revived and collaborated still with Colombia, my Lord, and see what purpose, you know, can come out of this, you know, communion, you know, of ourselves, my Lord. True God.
Give thanks, Honorable. Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord. We are willing, my Lord, and we are really, yeah, man. From my personal experience, my Lord, this is something I've been looking forward for plenty time. I mean, from long time ago, my Lord. Because yeah, man, I've never been in Chile, and really the brethren there have moved better. They're more in Chile. They're more Bobos than here in Colombia. But yeah, man, I'm really glad because of this, my Lord, because of this moment, and because of being able to have communication with even brethren there in Africa, my Lord, and really, yeah, man, inspire myself, my Lord, to make greater things at this moment, my Lord, because the time is now, the better days today, said our Father said. So, yeah, man, I glorify my Lord, glorify my Lord.
Mighty God. Worthy, worthy, worthy God.
So at this time, I would just ask one of the honorable priests on the line could seal it up. Honorable Priest Jermaine is no longer with us, so it's you know, any priest that's willing to just block a sound, block a reverence, and we'll seal up the program for today.
Bless the Lord, Honorable Prophet Daniel, my Lord.
Yes, Honorable Empress Leon, you had something you wanted to say before we seal? Yes, beloved.
Reverence in the royal courts of mighty King David, four winds of creation, earth, sky, and sea. Glory be unto our Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy One of creation. Jah, as in the beginning, is now and ever shall be, Jah world without end. Last year, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded blessings, even life forevermore. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Rastafari. Give thanks for reasoning better than preaching, reasoning better than singing, and I glorify the moment that our Father has brought. Read up, stand up, stand up, stand up for niggas. The strife will not be long. The day of battle, the next, the victor's song. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Rastafari. What a mighty God we serve, my Lord.
Mighty to the day, Princess Christ in flesh, born and born, near and far. Blessings and fires.
Give thanks again for, you know, a great study group. This is the Ethiopia Africa National Congress. I am Honorable Prophet Daniel. Give thanks for everyone who did come on the Zoom live to share. Give thanks for all questions. Give thanks for all clearance. Give thanks for the reasoning. Give thanks for ones and ones coming together to share and build fellowship.
Honorable Prophet Daniel, my Lord, blessed love.
Worthy goddess, blessed love.
Blessed love, my Lord. Sorry to cut the eye, my Lord, but I'm trying to say a word a while, my Lord, and I'm having some technicalities, if you realize, not honorable.
Yes,
So I would
goddess.
just like to give a quick moment before the reasoning seal off, my Lord, if that is okay.
It's perfectly fine. Give thanks, Empress. Go through.
Yes, Majesty, give thanks for the blessed moment of reasoning and give thanks for each and every one on the reasoning today, you know. I give thanks especially for a moment. I feel take a moment to Africa. I have home for a moment, you know. Give thanks to the royal angels sharing such Africa, you know, moment, showing the tabernacle that is building and all the powers and the strength that is moving through, you know. Give I and I hope, you know, I so give thanks for all strength. Keep up the good works, I and hope that the works on repatriation could continue and really, yes, I could really continue and take place and really manifest. We could stop talk and really experience the move still, you know, my Lord and Empress. Yes, I. So give thanks to such powers and all loved ones in Rastafari. Give thanks for our blessed Father that brought us together, King Emmanuel VII, Adonia, God, Jah, Rastafari. Yes, I. Yes, I received a post this morning from my angel on WhatsApp. The post say, you know, no matter what you go through in life, always find something in the day to make you smile, you know. And this Africa moment really made me smile. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress.
You make I smile, Mama. Give thanks
yes,
for this moment.
Yes,
It's a joy.
Yes, I. Joy in Mount Zion with King Rastafari. Holy Emmanuel, I. Selassie, I. Jah. Rastafari. Yes, I. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress. Love, love, love.
Goddess.
Blessed.
Yes, goddess, give thanks for the word sound, you know. Yeah, and with that, we'll just close, you know, give thanks for everybody's participation. Give thanks for all those viewing on YouTube. Hopefully the information is helpful towards, you know, more development, you know, and not just talking, you know. So give thanks and glorify for everyone. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah.
Rastafari.
Blessed love.
Blessed love.
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 Wheeler.